Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Christian Smedberg, Marketing Manager here at Weinig USA. So today we are going to be talking about the new Hydromat 3000, and to do all the talking is Michael Mushkett.
Hey guys, Michael, I'm the product manager for Weinig here at Weinig USA. And we're going to talk to you about the Hydromat 3000 today.
Yeah, so everyone, so this is a brand new machine. We're really excited to have it on the floor here in North Carolina, up and running. Michael's going to take us through the features today of it. And remember, if you have any comments during this broadcast, make sure that you just put them in the comments section below. We'll make sure that we answer them as we get them. So the other thing is that if you guys want a private demo online of this machine, or really any other machine on the floor here, just reach out to your local Weinig sales rep and they will set you up. We do Zoom meetings with the machines running and answering your questions in a private demo every day. So just reach out to your local sales rep and they will be able to set that up for you.
That's right.
Yeah. So Michael, can you tell me, last week we did a live demo with the Hydromat 1500.
Exactly. So last week we showed you guys the Hydromat 1500.
How's this different?
So this is the Hydromat 3000 that we're going to show you today. The major difference is that machine is designed to run high speed. When I say high speed, just to compare, conventional Moulder, non-jointed machine, you would run that between 35 and 65 feet a minute, depending on the RPM of the spindle. Now, on a jointed machine, we are using jointing stones for straight knife and profile knives to joint those heads in order to run faster speeds. So the Hydromat 3000 that we see here, we have that machine in 3 variations. We're going from 200 to 260 feet up to 330 feet a minute. So with that, obviously, we're increasing our production.
So everyone watching, this is really a very different machine with a different inside, different purpose than the Hydromat that we looked at last week.
Correct.
So, you know, if you've run a Hydromat before or you're running high-speed molding, this is going to make a lot of sense to you. Mm-hmm. We are going to get really into the weeds and technical on this video. So again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. We hope you enjoy. Michael, you want to walk us through it?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, guys. So Hydromat 3000. The specific model that we have here, this is the 330 feet per minute version in 12 inches working width. That machine is available in 9 inches as well. And I just want to point out a couple of the features today. So standard on all Hydromat 3000s is the PowerCom control system that sends all the tool data from the tool room basically to the machine. It basically controls the entire machine. It's just exactly the same in the video that I showed you guys last week on the Hydromat 1500. We're going inside the machine now. Couple of the features. All Hydromat 3000s come standard with marathon coated bed plates and fences, which gives you a great wear resistance. Starting from right to left from the infeed, standard on the Hydromat 3000 is the big 4-roller infeed. So we have 2 driven rollers in the table. We have 2 large 9-inch feed rollers on top. The first reed roller has a clutch built into it. That is necessary if we are running an infeed, a lateral chain feed infeed system, which is absolutely necessary for running high speed. Moving forward, all the other feed rollers are also increased in diameter. We're having 7-inch feed rollers there. The feed rollers is exactly the same design as on the P700s, the 1500s, where the teeth are on an angle to keep the material against the fence. Another big point on the feed system, on those high-speed machines, we're using steel gearboxes. Now the steel gearboxes, they're just a little bit more rigid, which is going to help us with vibration and feeding the material through the machine. This is a 6-spindle machine, so we have a bottom, a right, left, 2 top heads, and a last bottom spindle. 6 spindles. The machine is equipped with jointers, so we have a straight knife joiner on the first bottom. We have profile joiners on the side heads. We have another straight knife joiner on the first top, a straight knife joiner and a profile joiner on the second top, and a straight knife joiner and a profile joiner on the last bottom spindle. All right. A lot of features on this model are similar to the design that we have on the 700s and the 1500s. For example, the air fence that can be moved in and out. We have all the adjustments on the machine are with big levers, so that means no tools is required. The hose here on the left spindle just comes up and can be hooked into the top, gives the operator more room to get those big hydro heads out of the machine. All right, another very important feature on this machine, all the joiners that we see here are automatic. On older style machines, on other models, a lot of the joiners are manual. That means you have to, the operator has to manually engage the joiner to pull it in and out in order to joint the tool. On this machine, everything is automatic. So we see all those push buttons here that can be pushed, and the machine is going to actuate the joiner and joint the tool fully automatic. All right, guys. Christian, let's move to the other side here. All right. And now I just want to focus on the back of the machine. There's a couple new features, a couple new innovations that we introduced with the Hydromat 3000. First of all, we're having a new style of outboard bearing that we're using on this machine. For many of you guys that have high-speed machines, Hydromats, you're familiar with the Hydrolock technology. You need the grease gun, put the grease gun in the tool and the outboard bearing to pressurize it to 300 bars, which will actuate the hydro sleeve and clamp it on the spindle. Now with the new style outboard bearing, we're still working with grease, but we're not required a grease gun anymore to pressurize the system. We're working basically with a closed grease system. So how that works is we still have our grease cert and our pressure release right there, but we also have a set screw and a little indicator on the other side. So in order to take the outboard bearing off, all I have to do is I loosen up those big nuts. They don't have to come off all the way anymore. It's just enough to loosen them. Then we flip those washers to the side. We'll take our Allen and basically open up or releasing the pressure which that little brass indicator pin just went in. Now the pressure is released and I can remove the outboard bearing. It's that easy. I can put the outboard bearing to the side. Exactly the same technology is used on our cutter heads. Once I put my new cutter head on, I pressurize it with my Allen key. I put the outboard bearing back on. All right, that's it. I flip those washers back. Those nuts can be tightened. Now we see that little indicator pin right there. I run that set screw in and that pin is going to come out and be flush with the shoulder of the nut, which indicates that the outboard bearing is securely clamped on the spindle. All right, another big feature here is how the jointers work with the bottom spindle. So the old style on the jointers, it was that the spindle moved separate from the jointers. So once the spindle is in position, the jointers had to be moved in position manually, and after a rejointing process, they have to be reset because every time we're jointing, we're basically decreasing the tool radius just a little bit, and the jointers wear, so everything has to be reset. Now on this new style, everything works automatic. So the jointers, both straight knife and profile jointers, move together with the spindle. So when the spindle moves up, the jointers are moving up as well, which is a great benefit to you guys. It makes the life of the operator a lot easier, and we guarantee that our profile is true every time. Also, a new feature on the profile joiner right here is we're having this joiner cassette. So we see our profile joiner right here in the holder, and as you can see, the whole assembly comes out. So this basically gives the operator a great ability, and it's a great feature for the operator to set everything up outside of the machine. Once he has everything set up just like that, there's a push button here on the side that activates a pneumatic cylinder. So if I push that button, the pressure is released. I can take the entire cassette out, take my new profile joiner and just slide it in, and everything is set in place. Alright guys, the last feature here, or one of the last features I want to point out to you is the last bed plate, the bed plate after the second bottom spindle. So as many of you know, if you are making a cut on the last bottom spindle, if you're taking material off the last bottom, there's a 20,000 shim that has to be underneath the bed plate in order, the bed plate before and after the bottom spindle, they have to be offset in order to make the cut. Now if we are not running at the bottom spindle, or if we're not taking any material off the thickness on the last bottom, that shim, that 20,000 shim, that metal shim, has to be removed. In order to do that, I gotta loosen up the locks. I have to take the entire bed plate off, take the shim off, put the bed plate back on, and tighten the entire system. Now on this system here, the new design on the Hydromat 3000, we're basically the bed plate is moving on a wedge. So how that works is we have two lock screws right here. They can be loosened just like that. We've put a little dial indicator right here so you can see the movement. What I'm doing, I'm taking my Allen key and I simply put it in and rotate it, and you can see we're going from 0 to 20,000ths of an inch. So the adjustment here is that easy. I do not have to take the bed plate off anymore. Once I'm in position, I can just lock it down, and that's it. So I think this is a great benefit for the operator. It makes life easier. Also, those bed plates, they can be very heavy, so it's always also a little bit of a safety concern. I mean, if those drop, the people can get hurt. So I think this is a great feature that makes life definitely easier. Alright guys, I think those were the major benefits of the Hydromat 3000. I just want to point out one more thing. So as I mentioned before, in the Hydromat 3000, it is required to have an in-feed system that feeds the material into the machine, because at 200, 260, 330 feet a minute, it's impossible for an operator to feed the system. So we're using a lateral chain feed on this machine. We do have many different options for lateral chain feeds. It all depends on your incoming length, on the material that you're using. There's a lot of different options that we could put on the machine. So those lateral chain feeds are available as well, and we are selling them and manufacturing them. So if you have any questions, please just feel free to reach out. Yeah. I think this is a great system. It was first introduced in the middle of 2019, and we actually sold quite a few machines of the Hydromat 3000. It's a great machine. Guys, if you have any more questions, I would love to answer them for you. If you just want to post them in the comments below. Christian, he's on the camera. He's gonna see if anything comes up. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them.
So can you talk about the tooling?
Yeah, absolutely. So the cutter head that we see here is a Hydrolock cutter head. It does have the new style closed grease system. So we have the set screw right here and the indicator pin on the other side. So it's exactly the same system that we're using on the outboard bearings on this machine.
Should the bed plate be removed for regular cleaning, even though we don't use it for a shim?
Well, I would say yes. It would probably be with the regular maintenance of the machine. I would have to verify if there's anything in PowerCom But as many of you know, PowerCom has a built-in maintenance program. So something like that, usually cleaning of bed plates and things like that, those items are stored within PowerCom. So if that comes up, if the cycle for that comes up, it's going to show a message. You can take the bed plate out, clean it, make sure everything is clean. The dust and the dust chips are removed, and you can put everything back in place.
What would the time savings be for the new system? Bed plate, joiners, the outboard bearings over the old way?
Well, that's a great question. We should probably come up with a time study for that. But I would say at least half the time. I think for a setup that you have to do, removing, I mean, if you just think about it, right? Like I said, old outboard bearings, you have to take those nuts off. You have to remove the grease, then you need a rack, clean up the grease. You have the grease gun laying around, there's grease everywhere. In combination with the dust, it's just a mess. With the new style, I think it's just super clean. As you can see, the machine is clean. There's no grease anywhere. From a time-saving perspective, I think you just loosen those nuts. You take the whole thing off, put your new head on. I would think at least 50% in time savings on the outboard bearing. With the bed plate, I would say it's at least 80% because you just loosen up those screws. You put the Allen in and basically go all the way to the end. So how the wedge works, it has a positive and a negative stop. So it's always going to go to the actual dimension that is desired. So there's no measuring required. I just put the dial indicator here so you guys can visually see that the bed plate is moving. So I would say from a changeover perspective, as you guys know, in the video last week we talked a lot about changeover time and being more efficient. And we're only making money when the machine is when wood is running through the machine. So a Hydromat, a high-speed machine, the changeover on this machine does require a longer period of time, but on the other side, the machine is also running 4, 5, 6 times the speed of a conventional motor. So that's basically how we get the time savings. All right, guys, if you have any other questions, please feel free to post them in the comments below. Also, if the video has finished, please feel free to post the comments. If you have any more questions, we're here at Weinig. Guys, we're here for you. We're here to help you. Our agents are out there. They're working hard to stay in touch with you. Our regional sales guys are in touch with you every day. So please, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Let us know how we can help. Thank you so much.